This is Melissa, and she's not willing to walk away. And because of that, her crush, Tyrone, is creeped out by her. And she asks Father Alex, why do men not respect me? Why is it that as soon as I like the guy, they lose interest? They like me before I gain interest. What am I doing wrong? Well, it's because Melissa is not willing to walk away. Okay? No matter how attractive you are, no matter how many backwards spinning roonies you could do, guys just can't respect a woman that can't walk away. And even though if they like you, Tyrone is gonna be creeped the fuck out by Melissa. And the crazy thing about it is that she can't tell. Everybody can tell, but she can't tell. Okay? So today we're gonna be talking about why is it that men are not attracted to long-term to women who just cannot walk away. And if they are attracted to that, they just want a relationship that's completely in their powers, that's completely on their term. And that relationship is just not gonna be happy. All right, so let's begin with the video. And for one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, or else I'm closing the channel. Oh shit, okay, sorry about that. Sorry, let's put this little Mona Lisa over here, people, because I don't want him to get hurt. She's able to walk away, Mr. Mona Lisa, all right? So let's begin. So the first thing is that when a woman who's able to walk away, she comes across as though she's a catch. Look at him. He's fucking shocked. He's like, I can't believe she's paying attention to me. Listen, man. When you're not able to walk away, men can sense it in your energy, right? They can sense it. There's a desperate, needy energy that radiates from you, and no matter how hard you try, you can't fake that, right? You just cannot. And let me tell you why, right? There's something that happens when you continually tolerate relationships that are not good for you, but you stay because of the validation. You stay because you're afraid to be alone. That it actually ages you over time. You start off like this, and you end up looking like this. Every time you keep in yourself in situationships, it ages you over time. You lose all of the good years to the wrong guy, and that creates a resentful spirit. And unfortunately for some ladies, men can sense that. A man can sense when a woman is resentful, and I like to call that, honestly, a love addiction. It's flat out a love addiction. You are addicted to love at your expense, right? And usually if you can't walk away, what's happening here is not the fact that he is so attractive, right? It's not the fact that he's so muscular or you can't resist him. It's actually low self-worth. And low self-worth manifests itself as a unwillingness to walk away. And the problem with low self-worth is that it comes with, let's put this right here. Low self-worth a lot of times comes with a certain level of unconsciousness. What do I mean by that? Your ego cannot grasp the reality that you might be needy, that you might be desperate, and that you might be the person that you used to judge when you used to judge other people's relationships. And so your ego may not let you see that you're actually the needy one, that you're actually the creepy one, that you're actually the Melissa of the group. You'll be the last one to know. That's the nature of addiction, of love addiction. A lack of self-awareness. You can tell a crackhead he's a crackhead, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm not a crackhead." You know, like, yeah, of course I'm not a crackhead. I'm good. You know, yeah, of course I smell like a crackhead. I'm skinny like a crackhead, but I'm not a crackhead. They lack that self-awareness, and that lack of self-awareness comes because of shame. A lot of the times when you can't walk away, you actually don't even tell people the truth about your relationships. Right? You don't tell your parents the truth. You don't tell your friends because it's embarrassing. And so that deception first starts with yourself. And the way to break that self-deception, it comes down through a very simple thing. Through developing a spiritual practice, a meditation practice, through developing a relationship with whatever God you perceive. That will be the first step, because it requires you to be honest with yourself. When you're observing your breath, you are looking at your breath as it is. You're not reacting to your thoughts, because thoughts can be lies. You're reacting to the sensation of the breath as it is. And that reality, that connection to truth will also reveal itself through your unconscious. You'll start to see how you lie to yourself by just perceiving and anchoring yourself in something that's truth, which is the perception of your breath. And it'll reveal all of the other parts of your unconscious, right? This is why, for example, Frida Kahlo, I could promise you Frida didn't know that she was in an abusive relationship. She didn't know that. She lied to herself most of the time. She was like, yeah, of course that guy banged my sister, but it wasn't that badly. Yeah, of course he cheated on me with my sister, but you know what? She found ways. I kind of like that. In fact, I even bring in women to sleep with. Like she found, Melissa, she's the ultimate Melissa, I'm gonna be honest with you. She found ways to lie to herself. And that energy, and you can see it in the eyes. There's a brokenness to you when you can't walk away, that whenever you meet a guy, whenever you find someone who wants a relationship, he's gonna notice that there's something off. And unfortunately, a guy who wants a respectful woman and a guy who wants to marry a woman, unfortunately, ladies, he's not gonna want to be with someone who you can see is just sad and depressed on the outside. You can sense it. He's gonna want to see a glint in the eye, life in the eye. And unfortunately, a lot of the times we sacrifice our self-worth, we sacrifice our self-esteem just to get validation from that person who we have a tough time winning over. And that sacrifice comes at a cost, right? That sacrifice comes at the cost of your self-worth. And you become bitter like a chihuahua. Your bitterness, because you're letting yourself, you're losing yourself in this situation, will be seen. And that bitterness, just like a chihuahua, people are not going to respect you. You're going to get mad, you're going to get angry, but you're not going to have that intimidating quality of a pit bull who's in front of a baby. Right? Sorry, people. I usually don't show the pit bull next to the baby because this pit bull for some reason always wants to eat this. I don't know why, but it just has like a lot of aggressive energy. Pit bull. It is what it is. So that's one thing. It just ruins your vibe. It ruins your energy, and you just and men can sense the weakness. Unfortunately, a healthy guy is gonna want a woman who also vibrates at the same level, right? Only guys who want to use your weakness against you, who want to take advantage of you, who want to use your body, will gravitate towards the woman who can't walk away. I'm telling you, man. So the next thing is that you just look more attractive. Honestly, you look more attractive, plain and simple. Your vibe, you have this aura about you, and usually the reason why you look more attractive it's because of the way you behave, right? It's something that radiates from you. You can't fake being willing to walk away. You just cannot. You can't fake leverage. It's something that you could fake it maybe for the first week, maybe for the first month, but eventually the guy's gonna notice that you're faking it. Eventually the mask is gonna slip and he's gonna see that in reality, deep down, you're desperate. And eventually they're gonna lose respect for that. People don't respect people who can't control themselves, and you could lie to yourself and say, I'm really good at faking it. No, you're not. Listen, the self is always coming through. The self is always coming through. Any guy that accepts that situation is just there to take advantage of it. Look, there's always an exception to the rule, and that's a fact. There's always an exception to the rule, but most guys will try to take advantage of that. Next thing is that it just signals self-worth. Right? You come across as though you have self-worth. And again, it's something that people can sense it in your energy, right? You have self-respect and you have self-esteem. And what do I mean by that? Well, life has shown you that when somebody leaves you, eventually you're going to recover from the pain, right? Let's go right here. Somebody leaves you, eventually you're going to be sad, but eventually you're going to recover. You're not going to be sad for the rest of your life. This is not the end of the world. And because of that, when somebody says I'll leave, or when you're dealing with someone, you're able to set your standards with more hump to it. You talk to them when you look at them in the eye because you have no fears. But unfortunately, when you develop the habit of never leaving, like with Frida, you can see it. There's a sadness to you. Even when you stand up for yourself. Even when you stand up for yourself and try to speak up and not be taken advantage of. It sounds like a fucking chihuahua who's scared on the inside. They're gonna be able to see through you, and a fucking pit bull is gonna eat you. Right? I just love the way the little baby looks like. He's like, oh, I'm scared. Help me get away from the angry pit bull. And the pit bull has a fucking, even like fucking princess over here, even has like eyelashes. It's the funniest thing ever, man. I swear to God, I love this angry pit bull with beautiful eyelashes. Oh man, I have fun. I have too much fun with these videos sometimes, man. So the next one is that you trigger the fear of abandonment. Okay? When you're able to walk away, people can feel it. It's like when someone's about to leave your house, right? Or even when you can tell when someone is going to finish a conversation, you can sense that almost the conversation is over. When you internally know that if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna find somebody else, or I'll be happy alone. To people who have low self-worth, it triggers their fear of abandonment. And they're really good at noticing the people who are gonna leave them, because they become attracted to people who will abandon them. That's just the truth, right? Because that's the way trauma works. We replay the things that happened in our past, and these people get attached to you, right? They develop the creepy baby energy that when they know that you're gonna leave, they hold on to you harder, right? Now you gotta be careful with this one, because this one can be very entitled, can be very toxic, and can be very dangerous, right? I don't want you to be with someone who's only with you because they're projecting, who's only with you because you remind them of their mother who abandoned them, who's only with you because you remind them of his mother who's broken, or his dad who's broken, right? No projections. Love that's based on projection never works out, right? If they like you all of a sudden because now you're saying you're gonna leave, and they respect you for that, okay, that's fine. But I don't want you to stay with someone only because you trigger that fear of abandonment. Eventually, when you open up and you show love, they're gonna get the fuck out. They're gonna leave, people. I'm telling you, man. Then you're gonna say, what the hell happened? This one is that their true intentions become clear. Okay? Their true intentions become clear. And again, this is all about developing the willingness to walk away, and internally knowing that you're gonna walk away, and living your life with that silent understanding. And what you'll notice is that when you have that silent belief in yourself, people, men in general, are gonna be very open with you about how they feel. And I call that dating with intention. Dating with intention is something that I talked about in my course, the commitment formula. We just made the video that we just finished making the 3-date rule that you have to follow when you date someone if you want something long term. But dating with intention is pretty much saying, hey, this is what I want, and motherfucker, if you don't want to give me that shit, I'm getting the fuck out. Plain and simple. I'm not tolerating that. I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise. Okay, this is what I'm looking for, and if you're not able to provide that for me, if you don't show a history of long-term commitment, if you don't show me that you come from a stable home, that you're able to have time for a relationship, then if you're not able to show me that, I'm leaving you. And you want to look for things, you want to qualify them, right? And qualifying pretty much means that you look for the standards that you want, and then you actively see whether or not their life and what they say fits it. So if they say they want a relationship, but they work 50, 60, 80 hour, for example, 80 hour weeks, that's not relationship material. And you say, okay, so you want a relationship, but you work 80 hours a week? Yeah, I just gotta work hard, I'm a hard worker, And it's like, wait a minute, wait. If you're gonna be using my face, if you're gonna be using my voice and talk about Tyrone, make sure that you show my damn photo, okay? What the hell is that? That looks like LeBron James. Put it up again. Oh, sorry, here. What the fuck is that? That's not Tyrone. Tyrone doesn't look like that. Tyrone does not look like LeBron James. Now that is racist. Oh my Lord, I cannot believe you're doing stuff like that. Anyways, I gotta go. All right, Tyrone, Jesus Christ, man. Tyrone got issues, man. Well, I do not have issues. What the fuck is your problem, man? I leave all of a sudden you start talking shit. Tyrone, this is the last time I'm be here. Anyways, I gotta go. Okay, now you know what? Let's keep talking with the video. What was I, man? Fucking Tyrone interrupting Father Alex. Unbelievable, man. This guy's crazy, man. He got it. Anyway, let me not say nothing. What were we saying? Yeah, 80-hour days, right? So you just actively look for those things, right? And in the 3-day rule, I talk about that. For example, first date is finding out what they're looking for, right? You find out. You want a relationship? Okay, when was your last relationship? How long were you guys together? Why did you guys break up? You know, and even on the third date, you find out. You start opening up about your vulnerabilities, right? What are some weaknesses that you have, and how did it affect your relationship? And what did you do to fix it? You know, and notice how they respond. And I teach you guys how to notice how observing how they respond will say a lot about their character, right? I always tell people that ask them about their parents. You know, did dad cheat on mom? Did mom cheat on dad? You know, did they grow up in an abusive household, right? Because a lot of the times, you know, traits are heritable. You know, like addictions are heritable. You know, fucking dad was a crackhead. You better watch out. Be careful. Like I'm not here to judge people, but look at the Godfather, right? Remember when Michael, he was like, I'm not like my dad, you know, I'm nothing like my dad. Trust me, I'm nothing like my dad. Fuck, 2 weeks later, he's shooting someone in the head, right? Some things are heritable, and so if you know what standards to look for, which we talk about in my course, if you know what standards to look for, then just look for them. You're not needy by looking for those standards. You're not needy to try to find those traits, and you're not needy to call them out if they all of a sudden say they don't work 80-hour weeks, and then all of a sudden they're picking up 2 shifts at work. That says about their intention, right? And so that willingness, literally the willingness to call them out, not even say it, just the willingness. When you walk into and when you meet someone, they're gonna sense it in your energy. You're gonna have what the young kids call aura. It's gonna be an aura about you, right? And that is extremely powerful. Another one is that your solution to life isn't a relationship. It's life itself. Okay? The reason why is because a lot of the times, and there's actually an unattractive quality when you treat your relationships as the solution to everything. You're sad, get in a relationship, right? You're depressed, get in a relationship, okay? And this is what needy, creepy energy is all about. Where it becomes, oh my God, Father Alex became Melissa. Where it becomes your solution to everything, and it's overwhelming. And it creates a needy vibe about you that pushes men away. And they cannot respect you because of just how weak it comes across, you know? So your relationships becomes your solution to everything. And it makes you unwilling to walk away. And it becomes a burden to them. And the problem is that because of the way you've dealt with life, you're only gonna attract men who want to take advantage of that, like I said before, you know? And what you want to be able to do is find happiness from life itself. Love isn't your priority. It's keeping your peace. It's keeping a peace of mind becomes your priority. Not getting the validation from that guy. Not getting that guy that doesn't like you to win him over. And everything about you is shown because the self is coming through. Your intentions is coming through. And the thing about this, you can't fake this. If love and relationships is your solution to your unhappiness, nothing that I say will change your energy. It'll feel like it is changing, but it actually won't. It'll create the illusion of change. The next quality is that you are free of resentments. You are free of resentments. And usually on process, resentments is the reason why a lot of the times we have this like depressive energy about us, because we're continually traumatizing ourselves because we haven't processed the pain and we still feel like victims. Whenever you don't walk away from situations, when you're not willing to walk away, there's always resentment. There's always resentment keeping you there, and that resentment, you can see it in the face, right? You're with them, but you fucking hate them, and so you develop this avoidant / anxious attachment style that makes you incapable of having a healthy relationship as long as you continue on this path, right? And there's things that you could do about it. Actually, it's not hopeless. You just have to be open to different solutions in life. And the way to fix this, and this is you got to treat it as an addiction. If you stay in situations and you're not willing to walk away, if you stay in them long enough, love will literally become an addiction. Plain and simple. Love will literally become like any addiction. Addictions, because I used to work at a drug rehab when I was interning in college. Addictions, there's always a point in addiction that if you address it, you don't become an addict to it, right? Eating disorders, food, crack, right? But unfortunately, people usually start addressing their addictions once they're at the point of no return, and that they need lifetime treatment for it. If you stay long enough in relationships, eventually your relationships will become a coping mechanism, right? Coming back and not being able to leave because of the random spurts of validation you get from them becomes your solution to everything in life. You stop depending on your faculties, you stop depending on yourself, and you start depending on their validation. They're the ones that lowers your self-worth, but they're the ones also that lifts your self-worth. But this is an illusion. Because imagine this is your stable emotion. They're putting you all the way down here, which is deep pain, so that they can lift you up with their validation. But they're only lifting you up all the way here, which is the validation they give you. And every time this happens, it gets lower. It gets lower. It gets lower. And you think are the good times without realizing you're under the threshold of unhappiness, right? And unfortunately, once this pattern happens, it's actually a whirlwind pattern towards the abyss. And once you're in that situation, this is when you need help. This is when you need help. This is something that humans cannot escape outside of their own selves. You got to treat it as an addiction. And the first thing you want to do is pray. Pray for help, honestly. Talk to a therapist about this. Check out some of those emotional support groups. There are groups for that. I remember when I worked at a drug rehab, people who were in abusive relationships, they were also love addicts. That's literally the definition, a love addict. The person who's in an abusive relationship and you can't leave, you are a love addict, like a drug habit. There's something called Love Addicts Anonymous. This is for the extreme cases where you habitually cannot walk away from and you can't do it on your own. I tell people, first, try to walk away on your own. If you can't, you need more help. And it only requires two things: honesty in terms of you understanding that you're in a downward spiral, and an open mind. Meaning, maybe the solution is not what you think it is and it might seem a little weird, but give it a try. This is how you heal from these extreme situations. Because it is an extreme. Once you become a love addict, you are an extreme. Because most people can walk away. But if you've been traumatized, abused, sexually, physically, in every sense of the way, there's father addicts cannot help some of those situations. And I get a lot of calls asking about extreme situations, and I'm like, you might need extra support. You might need extra support. And the beauty about it is that the solution has already been figured out. And let me tell you when it's not going to work. Ayahuasca is not going to work. Drugs is not going to work. Escaping is not going to work. Money is not going to work. Getting that butt lift, getting that BBL, getting the lip filler, none of that's going to work. Getting a boob job is not going to work. You could try it, but if it doesn't work, try this method that I'm telling you. And I've seen
countless of people try this approach, give it a good try, and they've seen results. You know, and yeah. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. For one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org. Check out my course, The Commitment Formula, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.